My name is Teresa. I am a woman, wife, mother, conquering chronic illness, and welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about exercise. And I want to encourage those of you who have fibromyalgia or another chronic illness, or who have gained a lot of weight and are trying to get back into it. It is not as easy as sometimes society and maybe your doctor may make you feel it should be. Like, it is actually this hard. You can still make progress though. And so today I'm going to talk about that. A little bit of background. I am just generally active. I have been. Grew up a little kid in the country, running around playing all day. And then high school did track and field. Mostly field. Some track. That was embarrassing. Mostly field. Because I'm solid. I'm real solid. Thunder thighs. Bottom heavy. I trip jumped through the discus. Actually went to state and place fourth in the discus. Yeah, not triple jump, definitely discus. So I took that into adulthood. I didn't exercise much in college, but I went to LSU, which is like a mini city within the city of Baton Rouge. And so probably walked somewhere between 15,000 to 20,000 steps a day, no cap. Like, and if you've gone to LSU and you've ever had a class in SEBA, you know what I mean. I had one class in SEBA, but I often had classes in Truro, which is right across the street from SEBA. Not quite as far as SEBA, I know. But anyway, you wouldn't know any of those buildings. So, unless you went to LSU. So, I didn't have to do much except for just not eat a lot, which I learned freshman year. I gained like 30 pounds, lost it, crash dieting, of course, and doing Tybo. Remember Billy Blanks? So, from there, I would have, from college, between college and marriage, before I got married, I would have, basically I exercised in the warm months and I hibernated in the summertime, gained a few pounds, and like yo-yo dieted every few years. But I was always able to just go back. I was young. Like, I got married at 26, so like teenager to like 25. Did you marry 26? Yeah. So teenager to like 25, young. So yeah, you're generally active all of your life. If you sit out the months in the wintertime, and in the wintertime, Louisiana is short. Yeah. So yeah, the wintertime is the same length. The time is actually cold in the wintertime. It's super short. So it wasn't like I was sitting out forever. And then I would do walking. I got into running a lot when I first got married. I was actually training to do a half marathon. I was up to like 7 miles, sometimes doing 2 a day, like running 7 miles and then running 7 miles again, just for fun, y'all. Like, just for fun. I wanted to get one of those stickers in my car. Then I had a kid, and so I did a lot more exercising inside when I started exercising again around the time Macy was like a year. And the apartment complex we had a third of a mile track, like path that was a third of a mile. And then I also had a gym that I used a couple of times. And then when Mace was about 15 months, we moved back to Baton Rouge, and I got more committed to exercising regularly, 4 or 5, sometimes 6 times a week, doing walking and weightlifting, stuff like that. And that was pretty consistent up until 2018. Macy started going back to school, so I had free time to like go and do exercise, and so I decided that I wanted to start running the lakes again, which is not something that I'd done since college, right? I would go and run a 5K 3 or 4 times a week. Sometimes I would run a 10K. I remember one time I ran a 10K. I just felt like running extra, so I did it again. And I was like, I normally didn't eat before. But like, you don't have to eat like right after you eat. And it wasn't like doing the 5K just like totally spent me. Like I still had energy, at least enough to do a 10K. So I would usually just drive home and eat, take a shower and eat, or have a smoothie and take a shower or whatever. But this time I was like, in my head, since I have enough time to drive home, I must have enough time to go to the grocery store and grocery shop after running a 10K. Like, I'm literally in line eating cookies because I'm so absolutely famished. That was dumb. But, like, I could do that. And then, of course, it was around that time that my bladder started giving me trouble. So I'm doing these 5Ks and then I can't finish anymore because my bladder has just, like, it's like, no, we have to go to the bathroom 4 times while you're running this 5K. And so, fast forward to finding exercises that I did not have to run or jump or walk real fast to do. Because at that point, I still had energy. I just was limited in the amount of things I do because I always felt like I had to go to the bathroom because of, I have interstitial cystitis. Sorry. But, and it didn't get better enough for me to start doing the things that I used to do. So I started doing new things. And it was, the things that I started doing weren't enough to burn the same amount of calories. So of course the weight start creeping up. And my doctor starts noticing and like not totally concerned because I'm dealing with now, as time is rolling forward, I was dealing with bladder stuff and we figured out what it was, but then I started doing the anxiety and depression, and the medications for anxiety and depression can also cause weight gain, and I hadn't gained that much, so they weren't totally concerned. And then fibromyalgia, and my body was just like, don't walk fast. No, I'm serious. Don't walk too fast because you're going to hurt and you're going to have to lay in the bed for 2 days. And I think that's when the weight really started to pile on. It just was like, you not moving and you're eating more? Oh, and you're 36? Here come the pounds. It was ridiculous how fast I gained weight. And it was in the middle of the pandemic, everybody was gaining weight. So, I don't feel that bad. But exercise to get the weight off. Well, what do you do? Running, jumping, no bueno. Joints, bladder are like, no, we're not doing that. And then the general fatigue that comes with fibromyalgia. Like, the idea that I'm supposed to, with no energy, exercise to get energy, even though the exercise is going to deplete more energy and make me hurt. Like, it is beyond me. But for a year, I still tried to do it. I still tried to go on walks, to do some body weight, cardio and calisthenics, and strength training. Over the course of the first year of me being diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and it took about 9 months. I'll say 9 months of me having fibromyalgia. Well, no. Over the course of a year, because I think I tried for a good year to do what the doctors say, you got to keep moving, you got to exercise, that's what's going to help. I realized it doesn't help. Exercise does not directly help fibromyalgia. And in fact, fibromyalgia makes it almost impossible to exercise regularly. Not completely impossible, but almost impossible. So the notion, and I think this is like a false narrative that is pushed, like if you exercise, you'll get energy. I feel like in general that is true, right? You build your stamina, right? You're building muscle, and so that's going to help you be a more efficient calorie burner. It's going to help you sleep better, all those great things. It does not help when you have fibromyalgia. Me exercising regularly or in a regular way that will lead to weight loss or anything like that does not help me feel better. And that was a very hard pill to swallow because I still have to exercise, right? I know that me walking outside is going to make me hurt. Hurting makes it harder for me to sleep. Less sleep makes me more tired. And just in general, the expenditure of exercising makes it like there's only so much energy that I'm going to have. And if I'm in the negative at the end of the day because I went on a walk, then I'm going to start the next day with less energy than I had the day before. And so, in order to actually exercise, there are some truths that I had to come to. And one of them was exercise will never look like what it used to look like for me. I'll never say never, but like exercise for me right now, it's not going to be me killing it. It's not going to be me making gains. It's not going to be me getting a snatched body, right? Exercise for me right now in this moment is about health, which is what it should be about in general, but it's never about that, right? Exercise for me in this moment is about health. It is about moving my muscles because even though they hurt, they still need to move. Moving my joints because even though they hurt, they still need to move. It's about me burning calories because even though I'm trying my best not to eat more calories because I'm mostly sedentary in the times that I'm not actually exercising and actively proactively trying to do something, because I lay down more, because I have to sit down more and take breaks more, because I'm intentionally not as active anymore because I am in pain, like that exercise counts so much more for my overall health, right? And so that is a really tough pill to swallow, because when we exercise, we won't see something. Like the number on the scale needs to move, my clothes need to fit looser, like not the muscles need to be more lifted in the posterior region. Like I need to see something in order for, unless you just really love exercising, which not everybody does, some people do, not everybody does. Like unless you just really love exercising for exercising's sake, exercising in a body that doesn't look like it has ever exercised before is very frustrating, especially when you know what exercise used to do for your body. And so I had to just throw out the window of what I thought exercise was going to look like and what it was going to do for me. Like, it is medicine. Exercise is medicine, and it is working towards my health whether I see it or not. Another thing that I had to recognize is the information that I get from my doctors and medical professionals and what's recommended is not always what's going to be what I'm able to do and what is good for me. I have a very active child. I have to be mom. I have a home that I have to take care of. I have to be manager. I have a husband that I like. I have to be partner. I have to be lover. I have to be friend. And so all of that takes energy. And so those are priorities for me. And I'm not going to take energy from that to offer towards exercise if that's all the places I have to take energy from, right? And so there's a balance that has to happen. So I talk about spoons theory a lot, but it's something that I've really taken hold of because the energy that I have is particularly finite. And if I keep expending too much on the day, I get into the negative. And if I get too far in the negative, I get into I can't get out of the bed. And when I say I can't get out of the bed, I mean I can't physically get out of the bed. Thankfully, it has only happened once where I was at home by myself with Macy and I had done too much. I did too much and I was in a lot of pain and I had no energy to move the muscles that control my legs, and I could not get out of the bed, and Macy was late to school until I could move, right? And so, but that is the consequence. Like, and I always have in the back of my mind, I have a child who's autistic. She elopes. That means she will run from a safe place into the street or into just away from a safe place for absolutely no reason. It's more of a compulsion. And so we have our house locked down like Fort Knox. If it really comes to it, my keys are underneath my pillow. Like, she won't have to fight me to get my keys to get out of the house. Like, when Michael leaves for work, we're locked in, right? We have all the safeguards. We have an alarm system at nighttime, right? But I don't ever want it to be my child has run off and I can't get her. Those are priorities that, like, I have to manage. And even though I also have to exercise, because I have to exercise is never going to be top priority. It's just not. Like, I also have to live this life that I have. Priorities: woman, me, wife, husband, mother, dead serious about those priorities. And the next part is conquering chronic illness. Part of that is exercise. And so, with those priorities in mind, I also have to know that I can't do it all in one day as wife and mother, right? I have to spread it out. Like, I have to readjust what my priorities look like so I can also conquer chronic illness. And part of that is exercise. And so everything is adjusted when you are trying to exercise as someone who has chronic illness so that you can actually do it. Like, your view of it, and then your discipline towards it, like, it all changes. Like, I know, like, doing this, something that feeds me, that I enjoy, the woman part of this whole scenario, like taking time for a hobby, even though it's not a lot of effort, it's still some. And so I have to be mindful. I have to be mindful what I do after this so that I can do it all again tomorrow. The balancing act is what I'm still getting used to, and sometimes I still mess up. Like, rock garden. I put together, the weather got nice October-ish, and so in October I devoted that month to turning the grass part of our courtyard into a rock garden. That entailed cleaning out all of the debris that was in it, all of the rocks that were already there, moving those to the side, leveling it out and grading it so that it drained away from the house and into the grading of the concrete that was already set in the courtyard. Laying out sand, laying out rocks and more sand, putting border with bricks and things. I did all of that. It wasn't until like the last step, putting out the last bags of rocks, that Michael helped. Not because I wanted to do it. I love yard work, and at the time I was also edging and mowing and all. I was doing all the work because I wanted to do it. Do not come from my husband, but like there was one day where I told myself 30 minutes. You can't do this every day, and when you do it, 30 minutes. That's all you can devote to it. One day I was out there for 2 hours in between mowing the lawn and edging the yard and working in the rock bed. Like, I was out there for 2 hours. Like, it wasn't super hot, but just the way that my body struggles with regulating temperature now, it wasn't hot at all. It was actually really nice outside. But the way that my body struggles with regulating temperature, I literally sweat through my clothes. Like, bra, shirt, underwear, leggings, like just soaked, socks just completely soaked. It was at that very moment that I knew that I effed up. Next day, no bueno. Like, could not get out of, like, could not move. I spent the whole day in the bed. Like, the entire day in the bed. I got up to pee, and I think I may have like grabbed something that was already fixed out of the refrigerator and ate it cold. Like, it was so bad. Michael had makes it's fine. Like, he was off that day. But like, I don't want to, like, our life is stressful enough, and it has become more limited because of the limitations of my body. I don't want to put all that on somebody because I get carried away in the rock garden. So balance in that area has become so important. It's something that I still struggle with, and I'm getting more of the hang of. So, what can I do? Yoga. I can do yoga. I can do yoga pretty much every day, and it'd be okay. I can't do hot yoga. I'm not standing on my head. I'm doing very gentle. A lot of the yogas I do are like stress relieving. They're like named stuff like that. Stress relieving, or bedtime yogas and stuff like that. 15-20 minutes. But if I do 15-20 minutes, I can do it every day. I tried to do a different one that was longer. It was like 30 something minutes. No, it was probably like 45 minutes, and I did 30 something minutes. I couldn't do it the next day. So I was like, if I want to do yoga every day, I have to keep it at 15-20 minutes for now, at least. And so that's what we're doing. And then walking. Walking is good cardio for your heart. You need to do cardio. Like, even though like I have this life I want to live, and so I manage how much energy that I put towards exercise, it doesn't change the fact that I'm a human being and my body needs cardiovascular exercise. Like I just have to do it. And so I try to do a good walk 2 and 3 times a week. The way that I do it is I can walk 1, maybe 2 days in a row, and then I have to be off 1 or 2 days. I cannot walk 3 or 4 days out of the week back to back. I can't do it. At least I can't do it yet. I have not noticed stamina increasing. Like the walks don't get easier, I don't get faster, and I can't do more of them. At least I haven't yet. There's this general idea that as you exercise, you get better at doing exercise. No, my nervous system is like no. Like, no, just no. And I don't know why. Maybe it's fibromyalgia. Maybe, I don't know. It's no. I'm not building stamina. I'm not getting better at exercise thus far. Maybe it will change. I hope it does, because it is different. And I have lost weight, but it is very difficult to eat a normal amount of food for a human being, enough to sustain life, because also if I don't eat, I don't have energy. So, gotta eat. And then lose weight while also not being able to exercise regularly. And though I don't get on the scale every day, I'm seeing a nutritionist mainly so that I can figure out how to eat well with all the food limitations that I have. I know that I will feel better in my body if I lose weight, but like the input output, it's still the same formula for everybody in a chronically ill or perfectly able body. So yeah, those are the realities of me doing exercise in a chronically ill body. I will update you if and when that change, and I hope it does. I hope I can get to a point where I can build some stamina. Well, maybe I can start lifting weights again. Try that. Amazing ultimate disaster. Like, so much so, like, I don't even like to move the weights upstairs when I vacuum. Like, ooh, not touching those again. But maybe one day, like, or there's something, or there's a way I could increase it. I don't know. But right now, like, I do what I can do, and what I can do is what I can do, right? And I try not to let my preconceived notions and the preconceived notions and the understandings that other people have about bodies and exercise make me feel bad about what my body can and can't do right now. And I encourage you to do the same thing for your body, whether you're ill, chronically ill or not. Sometimes what we can or can't do is not physically because of what our body can do, it's what our mind can do. If my body is wanting a walk, I will give it a walk. If my mind and my emotions want a warm blanket and a cup of tea on the couch, I will give it that too. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Try the best you can to take the best care of your body. And I'm going to continue to try to do that as well. That's it though. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the comments and in the next video.